I'm gonna say one thing about it, and one thing only: they stole that lady money.
So you know I got to lean in.
And you know we got to lean in. What's the TTT, y'all? Welcome back for episode 2. I'm Chase, and I'm here with my group members. We're not co-hosts because we all in a group together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with my group members. Some of my favorite people to work with: Asia,
Okay.
Sammy, and Antonio is joining us this week as he is going to be on the panel as well. And so we're gonna get right into it. How are the people doing? How are the people doing? How are the people doing?
We doing. We doing better than Tamika.
Um. Okay.
He's
Well,
starting
I'm
already.
Okay, right. And he ready to go firing on all cylinders. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and make a programming announcement. We've noticed that this show, so thank you guys for tuning in to us, as well as the actual show itself, is a hot topic. So, what we're going to go ahead and do starting next week, the shows, well, not next week, the week after next. So, the last 3 episodes are going to be live Mondays at 8:30 p.m. So just beware, look out for that. And we're going to go ahead and get started. But before we do, Antonio, you were not here with us last week. Please tell us what you thought about episode 1.
Tasha and Rocky stole my money.
And Mama ain't say nothing about it.
And Mama,
She
you
said, "Turn the
nothing.
cameras off or get out my house." That's what she said.
I
I know
think
that's
last
right.
week's episode was a good intro for everybody into kind of what we'll expect, from this season of the Queens of R&B. So I'm looking forward to it. Tamika, Mama, the mom, Miss Gloria. I don't mean to disrespect my elders, but from what I see, she is definitely biased, and she likes Latasha way more, a lot
Who
Mm,
more.
older?
Latasha.
Tasha,
Yep.
Big
Yeah.
Todd. That's what we call it in our family. Big Todd. Big Todd.
That's your cousin too.
No, it's crazy because I, used- I used to go with this girl and next door, we're like next door neighbors. I used to go with this girl and she was like really, really little and they used to call her Little Todd. So we would just call Latasha Big Todd. Man, anyway, we're moving on because that was the former life.
Chase had a girlfriend.
Yes,
Oh.
I was Joan of Arc in my former life. Um, and so as Sammy said, we picked right outside of Mama G's house. And at this point, Tamika is inconsolable and adamant that Tasha stole my money, Mama, and you ain't do nothing about it. Okay. Um, Gloria screams for the cameras to be cut out again, and the cameras keep rolling because what Bravo do what they want to do. And everybody is hurt, and Tamika is most hurt because she says that she was pregnant with her youngest child at the time that the alleged money was stolen. And then everyone leaves the home in an uproar, and I am not really sure how the family rebounds from this. What are you guys thinking about that? Because, like, now we can get to it in depth. Like, this dynamic is shitty, and I don't know how you move forward from this.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Especially when it comes to like that theft, and her saying, "Do you still want to go to jail?" And even from the first episode, that's a lot to kind of deal with within the family. I don't know how they can move forward when there seems to be such a disconnect and disrespect on both sides. I don't see how they can move forward without some type of like therapy or something like that. But I'm sure her mama ain't open to that. She probably only open to like praying and reading the Bible, and that's all good.
And
But
ginger ale.
sometimes you need a non-biased third party in there that can like verbally talk to you, and tell you, some things that may be able to help you out. But it's very, very fractured. And we can see, they still, even as of right now, they're still not on good terms.
Are you talking about the family dynamic or the group dynamic?
The family.
Right now, the family.
The family. Yeah.
I don't see them being able to move forward because Natasha won't be honest. And aside from her not being honest, the mama's even playing a role into like making Tamika seem like she just is delusional about her money just coming up missing. They're not being accountable. And I mean, how do you move forward when nobody's going to tell the truth about the situation? It's going to forever be y'all did it versus no, we didn't. It's a dead end. And then the fact that Tamika continues now, she's doing interviews or lives about it. She's sticking her teeth in it. So as long as Tasha says it didn't happen, ain't no moving forward.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think it's Tasha's fault and Mama's fault too.
Yeah.
Just what y'all said. And I don't know if you kind of noticed, but she said Tasha ain't steal your money, but she meant later on like she didn't steal your money because she needed it. So that's not stealing. Like that's kind of what her mama was alluding to.
Is it possible? Well, then yes. So I was going to raise the question because I thought, well, maybe, and we'll get into him in a little bit. Maybe Rocky set this up and Natasha did not have much knowledge of it, which is why she continues to defend him about it. But then the body language from the mom just kind of contradicts that. So I don't really know. I know for me personally, where I'm at, I don't really have time to sit and figure out who's telling the truth. As far as I'm concerned, all three of y'all crazy, and I don't want nothing to do with none of y'all answers. So there we go. You, your $30,000, your crazy mama, and your lying sister. None of you. Mwah, I wish you all the best. All right. So we're at the Candy Factory and Xscape 3. Excuse me, no, that's Xscape, not Xscape 3, because we all know that when Candy quit the group the last time and she said she wasn't gonna do that new record deal with them, and they put out that mixtape that didn't nobody listen to, that Candy made them change the name to Xscape 3, so nobody would have getting confused with Xscape. But now that they're doing shows as Xscape 3, Candy said she ain't changing the name to Xscape 3. She performed under Xscape. So all I'm saying is, I ain't ride for Big Top, but she ain't the only problem. And I'll stand on that hill as far as I want to.
I agree.
You gonna roll off of it. Candy was right into not intertwining Xscape with that bullshit Xscape 3 did. They are performing as Xscape because they are performing Xscape music. So you're not gonna hear Memory Lane. You're not gonna hear Memory Lane at the Xscape show. You're gonna have to catch Xscape 3 to hear Memory Lane and all them other 5 tracks that was on there.
Well, I don't know if you're trying to fight me on this live or this show or whatever you want to call this, but you calling me Scarlet, telling me I'm gonna take a tumble, that's below the belt.
I'm just being honest.
My
If
shoes
you have
got
$30,000, that's still
rolling nowhere.
You said, so how do you feel about that? Well, this is very briefly, do you think that there is a dynamic in the group that Candy kind of asserts? Like, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I definitely think that what Todd said when he was at the studio with them is true. I think that Latasha may be a bit kind of jealous of Candy, from kind of where, what Housewives has done to her and how she continued to write music and get, awards and things like that outside of Xscape. I do think there's truth to that. But I also feel like Candy has always been maybe jealous of Tasha as well, because Tasha was the voice. When you thought of Xscape, you didn't think of Candy. Definitely you didn't think of her. Tiny, you thought about, I mean, honestly, and I'm sorry to sound like this, but you thought about the big girl that could sing, which at that time was Latasha. And then you knew her sister was a great singer as well. And then they had the light-skinned girl who was, okay, she's an add-on. Nobody really knew Tiny could really sing. And then you had Candy. Every man wants a woman. So it was just,
Who knew that you were baritone this whole time?
Candy was like the non-factor of the group from once I did my research, because I ain't never heard of Xscape.
I don't know about that, Asia. I'm gonna say
Asia did that research on Wikipedia. Candy has she is
I ain't gonna run all the way down.
Them songs.
No, I won't give her that neither.
I will.
You know what I'm gonna
do? They can't do just kicking it without.
Wait a minute.
But you know what? That's the only Xscape song I know. Just kicking it.
Wait.
Are you ready to listen to it this week?
No, I know that one. I know that one from when I was a kid. Kick off.
And
You know
that
more than you
because
think you know,
remember
Asia.
Candy's
You
song.
know more than you think
I
you
know
know.
two. I know it's 2 songs that I know, and just kicking it is one.
I
Okay,
know a few of their
understanding.
songs. You know, My Little Secret.
I love. Wait a minute, you guys. I'm going to challenge you
Ooh, so I
this
know
week
two.
to
You
listen
gotta
to.
tell me.
I'm going to challenge you guys to listen to my favorite Escape album is Off the Hook. Their
How
second
many
one,
albums they got?
3,
3
and
platinum
1
plus
mixtape.
albums.
Oh, that's
And
why
1
it was
mixtape.
Escape. That's why it was
That's
Escape.
a Scott.
Yeah, well, nothing to do
Ascap
with none of
3.
that. Yeah.
Ascap 3. But I love Off the Hook. So listen to that. It's a really good R&B album. However, what I will say to you, Sammy, is this. Now, I ain't gonna say that she was the premier voice of that group, but I will give her second lead vocalist.
She
Who?
wasn't premium voice, but she was
Candy.
singing.
Candy.
You
I would
knew
give her
the
second lead vocalist.
Escape song because you heard Candy.
No.
Yeah. Even
Yeah,
go back
no,
to
Candy
listen.
sings on
Anybody
all
was
of. Candy
second
literally
lead
sings on
vocalist,
all of
which
those
I don't know
songs.
how you could be a lead vocalist and be second. But if anybody could get the most notoriety as the first background singer, it was Tamika.
Well, the reason why I say second lead vocalist is
Who
because
can I
that's
run
what.
to? That's the third one.
Well,
That's Tamika's
listen.
song.
That's Tamika and Latasha's song because nobody else sung lead on that. But if you listen to the backgrounds, like I like to do, Candy might turned up real loud on the backgrounds. Anyway,
Right, background. She was a good background. Yeah.
oh my God, no, listen, no,
She also sang background on Tardy for the Party.
no,
You gonna hear Candy. She was in the background of Pink. There
We
you
are
go.
definitely
You
gonna hear Candy.
Candy.
She has a very distinctive voice.
Very.
Well, in the original Destiny
I
Child,
fly
I would
above.
say Beyonce was the lead, and then Kelly was the second lead vocalist, and that's when everybody looked at her like this. But I mean, that's what she
That was
said.
the first time they heard that.
Yeah, and that was the last time I wanted to hear it.
Oh no! Okay, you guys. So we're at the Candy Factory, and ASCAP 3 are meeting with each other, and surprise, surprise, no Tocha. Tamika fills the other ladies in, excuse me, on the family meeting and brought up what happened. Tamika says that she's been poked, and eventually she exploded. Tamika then adds she told her mom about the money situation, and her mom replied that basically Tamika didn't know what Latasha was going through that would justify her stealing her royalties. This hurt Tamika very deeply, as Tamika also has a life and is a living, breathing human being, was pregnant with a child and sending one through college. So she definitely needed the royalties as well because, I mean, they were assigned to her. Catch that dirt, mommy. She says that when she got to the meeting, she was initially happy to see Latasha, and I feel like they both were initially happy to see each other, but she didn't know who the person that she was sitting across from her shortly thereafter. And I wanted to add this. So now that we've talked about it, we've watched it over and over again, or whatever we've done, has been on social media all week. I will say this. Tamika, and we've said it, but I don't think we've given it much weight. Tamika completely blindsided them with that family secret. And I do not know, I don't know how you get from the walkout and the kiss my booty and you ain't got no booty that you stole $30,000. What I'm saying is like the anger. I don't understand why Latasha, excuse me, I don't understand why Tamika felt the need to bring that up on camera. If she thought or if she ever felt that there was a way that her and her sister and family can move forward as a family, I think that is a decision that you make, and you have to be comfortable with living in that decision. While it's the truth is going to be divisional, and your family dynamic is never going to be the same because you kind of put that out on camera. So.
If the family dynamic is going to depend on y'all riding my ass and me trying to sit and make comfortable with it, I'm not mad at Tamika for tossing that out. She said, and she did a little live with her daughter, and she was saying that they were going at her, and she felt backed up in the corner. And I think that's probably something that she's been feeling, but she couldn't say nothing. And at this point, we finna go there. We finna go there. So I think she said it later on in the episode. She's done a lot to make them comfortable while she's secretly being miserable. At this point, if she gonna fight with her claws out so she can get some ease about herself, I'm not going to be mad at her for that.
But on camera, go ahead. On camera, is that
on camera?
fair?
Clearly,
if you playing in my face on camera,
what happened to Sammy?
They talked about it off camera. There was no result.
Tasha got him.
Now that's conversation. Now that she brought it up on camera, now something gonna happen behind that $30,000. Tasha gonna get 15 back or something, but now she gonna get some type of resolve that has been talked about in the public.
I
Okay.
just
Okay.
feel
Go
like
ahead,
if you
Asia.
play in my face on camera, and it's you and my mom, like when you grown, it's kind of hard for people to continue to play in your face. You're not obligated to hold anything in. And I think because they were coming at her on camera, she said what she said on camera. I feel like if they were having that same argument and they weren't on camera, she definitely would have said it. So we're talking about our real lives, like what's really bothering me. And I've had your back this whole time against my bandmates, and you took my money, and I be still being nice to your raggedy ass husband, stole my money. Like, yes, that shit is going to actually come out. And the way she said it so quick, like, oh no, oh shit. Well, now I gotta keep going with it.
I gotta
Like,
go with
I
it
don't
now.
know if she intentionally set out to say that day, because she even said her daughter didn't even know that happened. And she said it in front of her daughter. And I really don't think she wanted her daughter to know that's why she was struggling through college.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also I felt like as well, it did seem like when she during that episode when she, stated that information about them stealing the money, it didn't seem like it kind of came out of nowhere. But I'm thinking that could have also been editing, where there could have been a middle part there that was chopped out. And
Yeah.
because even when she was sitting and they were having the conversation with Candy and Tiny, she was saying they kept poking her. They kept poking her. Looking at on that episode, the mom was kind of saying some stuff like, for example, when her back was turned, oh, she's jealous. And,
Yeah.
and Tamika told Latasha, you need some counseling. She's like, no, you need some. The mama said, no, you need some counseling. And I just think that, Gloria, if you ever see this, instead of you saying that, how about you kind of try to mediate the situation a little bit better instead of blatantly taking sides between your kids who are clearly in a fractured relationship? You saying, hey, instead of us pointing the blame, what's the real issue here so we can get to the root cause of it, talk about it, discuss it, fix it, and move on.
She
But
don't like her daughter. She just don't like Tamika.
yeah, I agree.
I don't
That's
think
what I
it's
think
about
it was.
having a favorite at this point. I think she just don't like her the child.
Mm.
Yeah, I do agree with that. She clearly likes Latasha more, and that's a sad thing to say. I just don't see how, as a parent, you can, do that. But she's clearly doing it, and I think Tamika is really fed up, and to the point where it's like, oh, you this your favorite, but let me tell everybody what your favorite has done. And her and her stole $30,000 from me, and you didn't do nothing about it.
Wow, that is huge. So it's a split scene because, as Tamika is telling her group mates what happened that evening, Latasha meets with her husband Rocky, and Rocky plainly says that he's sick of this narrative that he stole something from Latasha, sick of a narrative that honestly should not exist. Basically, calling the whole money situation a nothing burger. And Latasha buckles down and says that it is a lie and that Tamika has a tendency to lie. And the facts are the facts. And I'm gonna get into that. Please do not let me to. So the lie that she is referring to, that we know of course,
Yeah,
is the whole Candy sleeping with So Deaf
Jermaine.
and everybody in the
Jermaine
yeah.
Dupri's daddy.
And
Oh yeah,
please remind me, do not allow me to forget, because I'm going to do my research on it and I'm going to tell it to the people. And so I have done my research and we're going to discuss it. But yeah, so she says that her sister has a tendency of lying, and Latasha says that the vibe was wrong and said that Tamika was stiff, aggressive, and possessed for disrespecting their mother. Tamika then goes ahead and plays a voicemail that rivals none other than Mother Joyce. So maybe them two mamas hanging out together getting people ass beat, because she tells Tamika that Tamika does not have enough righteousness within her and to calm down. And if she hears that she jumped on her sister, she's going to have to deal with Mama Gloria. Tamika then becomes inconsolable and starts to cry because this deeply, deeply, deeply hurts her. She says that she's never going against Latasha, even if it meant supporting her when she was wrong, as well as going against her group members. Latasha does not know where to go from here and questions if she even wants to do Escape or ASCAP 3 with any of them hoes at this point. And, Tiny and Candy feel that as a group, they hold on to things and they just need to all get together as a foursome, work this out so they can get to the money. You guys, that was a heavy scene. What did you think?
I think with the whole her throwing out, Tamika lies, that could have been something that Tamika heard, that she didn't know for a fact. She could have heard that Candy slept. Well, Candy admitted to sleeping with Jermaine Dupri, but she could have heard that she also slept with the dad. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, it could have been a rumor that wasn't true. Yeah. But me looking at the situation, I don't feel like she's lying about the 30. Like that, it makes no sense to lie about that. And it ain't maybe kind of is either y'all stole the money or y'all didn't. And looking at Rocky and his missing side tooth on the top on one side and on the bottom of the other side, I would hope that if he did take that $30,000, that he would have gotten him some type of implants put in, because he's
Well, we
missing.
don't know how many teeth he was. We don't know how many teeth he was originally missing, and $30,000 ain't gonna get you the full thing.
Well, but no, he could have went and got some little, he could have took the 30K. He could have took a little bit of 30K and got at least got them two put in.
He could have put both their 30Ks together, Tamika's and Latasha's.
Oh,
So I just,
Woo!
yeah, that I just don't buy the whole she was on, because let's also forget as well, the reason why Tamika was even kind of beefing with Candy or whomever is in support of Latasha at that time.
absolutely.
And that's the fucked up part. This girl went out there and lied for you, and now you tossing it back. Well, you can't really trust her because the bitch be lying.
And then we
Well, she
don't know,
got to go.
like Tonya said, we don't know if it was a real lie because Candy did sleep with something. She slept with a lot of people.
She slept
We
with Jermaine. That was her man.
It wasn't her man. She
They
said
was
it wasn't her
together.
man.
Oh, she said they went. I thought they had a
She
little.
said they was just fucking, basically.
Well,
Well,
shit. Either way, she admitted to
Well,
that one. So why would she lie about the
Candy
other one?
enjoy her 20s. Let's just say that. And so it's
and
not far from
30s.
the
And 40s.
oh, yeah, okay. Candy has enjoyed her life, and this is not to slut shame Candy. It's
No.
not to slut shame her. She was a matriarch for being that girl who did what she wanted to do. She slept with who
Yeah,
she wanted
I
to
agree.
sleep with. She dated who she wanted to date. So that's not far fetched from
Yeah.
being a true story. If Candy said she didn't sleep with that man, she didn't sleep with that man, and she either misheard or lied. Don't matter. You stole that lady money.
And
You
also
stole
another thing, if she did sleep with Jermaine Dupri daddy, I mean, allegedly Tamar, slept with him because Tamar and his girlfriend and his wife got into a fight in the elevator or whatever. So clearly Jermaine Dupri daddy kind of had something going on.
He must
For
was
the
better
girl.
than Jermaine Dupri.
I would fucking hope so.
Because I mean, and this was when Tamar was like, her original self. So yeah.
I will say the best thing about the little package when Tasha and Rocky was talking, when they showed the scene from the first Xscape show when they was in the training, they was doing the boxing and she was hitting the bag. He talking about who you hitting, nigga, you and Tasha. That's who she's beating this bag, and you holding the bag too.
My $30,000 in this damn bag, and I'm trying to hit it to knock the money
Trying to
out.
get you out of that mother. You, Rocky, she's hitting you.
Wow. All right, Rocky. Oh boy. Okay, Rocky. I'm just gonna say it, and it's not allegedly. I don't think nobody watching the show, nobody on this panel, only person like you is your wife.
And I'm questioning that at this point because I think a lot of the things that Tasha has done,
It's because of him.
like Candy said, and I thought that was fucked up for her to say that was the brain, but then we see.
Yeah.
So
Oh boy.
I would just roll with it.
Man, Lily is visited by her sister, and normally we skip stuff like this. But I wanted to discuss it because I just, in the group dynamic of SWV, Coco had a voice unparalleled, unmatched. So Coco was able to parlay that into solo success on a certain level, in secular music and gospel music. Taj had a mug for Doom, honey. Her mug was flawless. She was a model, and then she married Eddie George of the Tennessee Titans at
Mhm.
his height of his career. You know what I mean? When he
Used to
was
see her
the Eddie
around there.
George. Okay, yes. When he was the Eddie George, right? So
Yeah.
she married well, and she was able to parlay that. However, Lily has gone on in several interviews and shows and said while they were living their lives and nobody had contact with each other, she was struggling. And so to hear her get her story out, see her finally on a television show like this, on a big platform like this, I most certainly am rooting for her because when I hear stories like that about how she grew up sharing a mattress and wearing hand-me-downs, and then knowing the financial struggle she went through. I didn't know that she lost both of her parents at a very young age. She had her first child at 15, and then the one thing that she always wanted to do was buy her own bed. And when she got her first check, she bought her own bed. I just was like, I want her to win. Y'all get this together. Y'all fucking up Lily bag. And I'm not saying that she's broke and she need the money, but what I'm saying is like, the thing about a group dynamic is, as we're seeing, somewhat with Xscape, they kind of are pivoting around Natasha, but when one person kind of does not want to do something, you really have to sit and figure out how can we make this thing work without one. And the one who didn't want to do SWV was the one who sung all the leads. So what are we
Yeah.
going to do? You know what I mean? So I'm just very happy that she's seems to be in a much happier place because she has, discussed her bouts with this depression and alcoholism and all those things. So I'm just happy for Lily. That's all I want to say. I love you, Lily. Okay. Tamika meets up with Taj and they are super close. And is it me or were they not like fighting for Doom in the trailer? Like was Taj and Tamika like getting into it in the trailer
It
about the
probably
show?
was that way.
Okay, I hope not because one thing I noticed about Taj, she is super compassionate because when Tamika fills her in on how she felt attacked by her family, and it was always two against one, um, Taj gave Tamika the hug that I felt like Tamika looked like she needed. You know what I mean? And allowed her to cry and just be that. Even I'm not throwing shade at Tiny or Candy, but they didn't really do that. You know what I mean? I just felt like
Tiny
you
was
could
They
tell.
laughed.
laughing.
They
Yeah, Tiny
laughed
laughed.
Tiny
But
been
you
Tiny
could
laughing
was
the
tell
whole
falling out her chair laughing.
because Candy was over there. I'm like,
it
girl, okay, we get it.
was obvious she needed a hug. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Taj was there for her, and she said something that I don't know if anyone else has said it on the show as matter of factly as Taj has said, and basically, she was like the mom needs to step aside and allow the sisters to deal with this and to see for herself the division that she's causing amongst the sisters when you make one feel more loved than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Taj, on your case, Mama G. Did you guys think of anything? Because now we can move forward, but
Uh, it, I like Taj being there for Tamika, but you can see like based on what they're showing us, Taj is she getting her charade on. She carrying them. She
I
making
don't
she
even
show.
think she knows though.
You said what?
You know how some people do it, because they don't really know how certain things work. Like SWV show wasn't set up like a housewife style reality show, so they didn't really do that. You know what I mean? As far as like the taking it back and stuff like that, that feels more of like a Bravo reality show trope, if that makes sense. And I don't think that she knew that that kind of stuff set stuff off. I don't know. It's still early in the game. I don't
Yeah,
think that she had any ill intent, but that is messy.
it is.
Didn't think of it that way.
I didn't
She
either,
know.
but yeah. I mean,
She
she could
know.
have thought, oh, I seen your friend who? I seen Natasha in Nashville. She was looking for. I guess we're gonna have to wait to
Ain't
see
that
what
your friend?
Natasha discusses with Taj. And if she tells Taj, yeah, my group members don't know or whatever, then
Then she
okay.
busted. Then I'm gonna eat
She
Yeah.
her
already
words.
busted, but you can tell from the preview from the way she told Candy. I see somebody you might know. Oh, girl, you gossiping. You know what she knows.
Ain't
Okay.
that your friend?
But that doesn't mean that because she phrased it that way, that doesn't mean
Ain't
that
that your
Candy
friend?
did not know that
Well,
she was just trying to do her own thing, possibly.
we're going to get into that.
Yeah, I don't think it's the way that she's phrasing it. More so as to what she's telling her. You know that these girls don't know, and you telling Candy, the one that you know, her and Tasha. She knows.
Sammy, we just got to wait and see because we don't know what was all said in that scene. So
Because the producers, man, got up whole thing in Nashville. It is freezing her brain. Don't know much about reality TV, and just be like, "Girl, what that tech into that?" Okay.
No, she know a little bit about reality TV because
she was on Survivor.
Their show like for 2 or 3 seasons on We TV, I think.
And she was also on Survivor as well. She said she never.
Their reality TV show was pretty good as
Survivor is messy. So.
Oh yeah.
And didn't they have a little show on BET as well, SWV?
They did. They have done a style like this before with Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper.
With who?
Salt and Pepper. That show was actually pretty good. That show was good.
It was good.
Salt and Pepper.
Because Salt and Pepper was fighting with Spinderella for Zoom, honey. That's my new thing for Zoom. Everything is the absolute most. It's for Zoom. Anyway.
I do remember them giving Spinderella
the heave ho. But you know what I did want to say? Even though I don't think they rock with Spinderella, they recently got a star on the Walk of Fame, and it was Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella there at the Walk of Fame to celebrate that star. And I think that's a step forward because they were really blocking Spinderella from a lot of things, and people were eating up on social media for that. So, I mean, Spinderella was a big part of their success, even though it's Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know. Anyway, this is not their show, and we at Tiny's house, and all of the ladies of Xscape finally arrived in the same room together. The 5th member, and that's Latasha's bad attitude, because the entire energy of that group changes when she is in that group. If Latasha is happy, everybody happy. But if Latasha not happy, everybody gonna know it. And I'm gonna call a spade a spade. The bitch got a bad attitude. You need to fix it. Oh, I want to say something. I'm gonna wait to the gospel section. But you got a bad attitude, mama. Okay? You got a bad attitude. Girl, I'll fight you for Zoom. You got a bad attitude. Anyway, Latasha feels that the meeting is too soon, but she's there due to her love for Tiny. Latasha feels that the meeting, again, is too soon, and she's there for her love for Tiny. It starts off awkward, but Tiny presses forward and says that after the verses, they felt that they were not afforded any of the opportunities that a normal management company will come up for them. And the group begins to question whether they fell off, but they quickly remember we are at Xscape and ASCAP 3 sometimes, and we have the voices, and we have not fallen off. And so the discussion becomes to get rid of the management company who actually is associated with Rocky, who is the manager as well as husband of Latasha. Latasha says that she's going to pray on it, but it looks like the other 3 have already agreed that they got to go. And if we were in a group and, it's 3 people voting for, it is what it is. I've been outvoted, love. We get new management. I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Do you think that the management dropped the ball with opportunities for Xscape after their verses? Like, I never even thought about that at all. Like, what opportunities would they have? No tea, no shade.
Yeah.
Well, they lost.
That's true, Asia.
That's true. But what would they expect to happen after verses? Like what was supposed
Maybe
to
they would expect more bookings or something like that. Because honestly, since SWV did their show on WeTV even years ago, when they started getting booked, they've been pretty consistent.
They booked all year.
Yeah. 6-7 years or however long it's been. They've been doing pretty well for themselves. So maybe they expected more bookings, more, I don't know. That's all.
They're gonna have to have the SWV mentality, like Coco said. Regardless of what's going on with us, we finna go get paid. So y'all can't even sit down and have a conversation in the living room. Do you think the people finna put y'all on the stage?
Not only that, Sammy. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You don't know. I apologize. Go ahead.
But yeah, I don't know what they were really expecting from the verses.
In my opinion, when you have a platform like Versus, the way to capitalize off of the platform, because Versus is a what, you guys? Music platform, is to put out some what?
New music. Because that's what I was about to say.
That is where they fumbled.
The Isley Brothers, they put out, I feel like they put out like a new song, or one of them put out like a new song, or somebody put something out as soon as they did the verses. They did that. Ain't no stopping us now. I don't know who that was.
Okay.
But somebody did something after they verses
Right.
and capitalized on it, and then started touring. Or it was the Isley brothers. They did their
Monica
verses
also released something shortly after her,
right
you know,
after.
her and Brent. Mm-hmm.
Brandy
But the
album had
Isley
just come
brothers
out.
did.
Yeah.
They started doing all them picnics. They started doing all the Black family reunions and all the picnics. They was on Emancipation they was at Emancipation Park in Houston, like right after
Yeah.
they. So they was doing stuff, and they had hired like young people to take them pictures on stage. Like they actually set up a plan after their verses.
Mhm.
Mm.
Like, so even if it was a song, a joint, you could have done a joint song with SWV and it just be one song that would have gotten a buzz generated. Then people want to see you guys on tour. You do that, they could have re-released an expanded edition of an album with a cut from the vault. You get what I'm saying? There's so many things they could have done. I don't know if maybe that's where they felt management failed them because they didn't bring those ideas to them to have them executed.
Okay.
But in a situation where like Xscape, Jermaine Dupri owns So So Def, who owns their music. They have a pipeline directly to Jermaine Dupri, and they can go ahead and Jermaine is willing to work with them. He always works with them. They could get something going. I don't know who owns SWV's library and all of that stuff, so it may not have been as easier for them to do it. But hell, En Vogue just re-released their first album as a 30th anniversary edition. So if En Vogue can do it, and we all know they got a lot of shit going on over there on the En Vogue end. One thing about them, it may not be the original four, but those three girls, they book, they work, and they put out what they need to put out. That is a template that you can follow. I don't understand for the life of me why they didn't think to do that. Anything would have been better than the nothing that they gave us. So
And
as
not that
much as go ahead.
you, not that. I wouldn't want them to do like that song that Candy had sung in the studio. I wouldn't want that, but I would want a song. A song would be
I
nice.
don't know from a
Yeah,
Scott.
y'all know what? Honestly, I don't think it's like as busy as Candy's being. I don't think they even care to do something after versus. I think when they see the SWV had stuff going on, or they kind of went back and realized like after versus other artists, I don't think they care to really do something until they realized they weren't doing something. Probably when they bought them this stuff with SWV to do the tour, like Candy wasn't worried about them doing no damn nothing else with Xscape after versus. I doubt Tiny was. The only one who probably truly was Tamika. I don't think they care, which is why they didn't take any effort or initiative to line up stuff outside of that afterwards. Them girls weren't worried about doing nothing else after their verses
That's
together.
that stuff could have that like when you have a legacy group, you're a legacy group. That kind of stuff is just like no brainer, no brainer, no
Right.
brainer, no brainer, no
And
brainer.
Candy
But
too damn smart to not have thought to do something business
well
wise.
then, well then, is there a reason why Candy's not taking of these things?
Because now they're in this show with SWV. So why did they bring up this idea? SWV's manager thought about that. What is our managers doing? That's
But
what
if Candy got a candy coated factory and they thinking of ideas, is she purposely withholding from this particular group to ensure that her solo success remains the same, or is it just like a nothing burger, like I like to say?
I think she knows that
She
she
got
can
what she
depend on
do.
herself. She can't depend on them
Yeah.
girls. So
It's like it seemed like it's just such a task to get them to actually do stuff
mhm.
that's how Candy make money other places and
Yeah.
Tiny make money other places, and they can make money together quick.
Yeah.
So why involve these other two when they're just a headache?
Yeah. I
And I
agree.
Candy
honestly
got
feel,
them this show.
but you know what's crazy though? I honestly feel that now that the group has been rekindled, um, they kind of want them to have a level of success. Like I feel like as if we speak in terms of the group today, I feel like Candy really don't want Latasha to go back to what she went through now that they made not Latasha, excuse me. Tamika could have had to go back financially to where she was, and she knows that somewhat that their I won't say okay, their financial success may be dependent upon the Xscape brand. That's how I put it, right?
Right.
However, with Xscape comes Latasha, who she don't really fuck with like that, as opposed to Tamika, who has relationships and is in good terms with everyone. So that dynamic is tricky, but they don't need it, and the sisters do. So
Yeah,
if it was me,
I
well,
think it's just not that important to her. It's kind of like, okay, if we do it and we can get it together, cool. If we don't, I'm gonna still be good because I'm gonna go collect this 1-2 million from housewives in a
And I'm
Boy,
gonna
for
put on
that.
another play. Like I'm gonna open up
yeah,
another restaurant.
Yeah, she's got it going on. She's
yeah.
got it going on. And you would think though, when you never throw shade at the bitch holding the umbrella. And you would think that somebody, would just know that after all of these years. And baby, right now the bitch with the umbrella is Candy. Latasha, what are you doing?
I think with Latasha though, it's more so like Latasha in her mind, although she to me was the one when you thought about Xscape, you thought about Latasha. I think in her mind, she doesn't, she kind of thought that, oh, if I don't do it, the group is gonna be stifled and they can't move forward. They gonna be at a standstill point, not really thinking that, oh well damn, they do got Tamika who could potentially doesn't sing exactly like me, but she can still step in and sing those really strong parts
She
that I
can.
had on the other songs. And she wasn't really thinking about that. Maybe she was thinking, to me, she was being selfish, like, oh well, if I don't do it, then they can't move forward. They can't do nothing else. And Tamika can't make no money. But then they're like, ooh, gotcha. Yes, we can, because we're gonna have Tamika sing these parts, and that's what it's gonna be.
They can get Eris to do it. They can get Tiny Daughter to do it. If
Imagine Eris
they
getting up there. Every man wants a woman.
want.
She can hit that note too out of her ear and sing it. Sing it, boo boo.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
can
we
Um,
definitely
gonna,
get that note.
girl, you replaceable, baby, by the
Yeah,
6-year-old.
Yeah, you're not Coco, Latasha, at all.
And
that
they
is
can
exactly,
Ace,
Sammy.
and Ace can take over Rocky's
Rocky spot.
so look, put the babies to work. We got this. They can run another 50 years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. So Tiny and Candy feel that the group, as I mentioned earlier, needs new management that everyone can agree on. So that was diplomatic. Like, listen, you in the group, girl. I ain't trying to say we're going to do, I'm just saying we need to do something because nothing happened, which, is still a honest conversation as an artist in a group to have. Natasha says that she's going to pray on it. But Candy says that she needs to pray on it with her master, which is Rocky. Oh, does that mean?
I mean, it was shady. I won't say it was mean, but she said her brain, I thought.
She said her brain.
Okay.
I was like, damn, Candy, that's fucked up. But then hell,
No, I mean, I
How
mean,
was
hell, it was shady,
that?
but I mean, I'll
I
allow
thought
it.
it was a nasty thing to say until they showed him in her ear saying, and I was like, well, shit, but not realizing that Candy them they've been seeing this go on for years.
And he
So they
legit said, I'm telling her what to
telling her
say.
what to say. So
Yes. They asked Tamika, excuse me, they asked Natasha in the confessional, and Rocky whispered in her ear. And when production asked him what he was saying, he said he was telling her what to say. I don't know if he thought that he was being sarcastic and funny, but whatever you thought you were doing, it did not land how you felt like it was going to land because it is not a good timing, my brother. Um, Yes, Latasha tells the group that they keep sweeping issues under the rug, and Tamika asks why Latasha is still mad. Latasha says when it comes to her mother, they can talk about it later. There's an issue over her mama, my mama, our mama. It's somebody mama. Long as nobody talk about Mariah mama, won't nobody get drunk. Okay, and that's what we know, right? And then Tamika, excuse me, Natasha stands up in the middle of a conversation, grabs her bag, and is headed for the door. And I thought that was some rude ass shit. Unless they edited it out, her saying, "You guys, I don't want to talk about it today, and I'm going to go home." She said that she didn't want to talk about her mother in that scene. She didn't say that she didn't want to continue the meeting. So as she's talking like this, somebody stands up and gets up and walks out in the middle of you talking, girl, that is liable for me to get up and beat your ass. I do not live for that. That was very rude. And again, that is on the episode of this particular account, at least the third or fourth rude, nasty, bad spirited thing that this bitch has done. Okay. And we're gonna get into the fifth one at the end of it because I got something for her ass. And from one big bitch to another, you might want to put on a smile, girlfriend, because I'm gonna wear your ass out at the end of this motherfucking show. With that being said, we move right along, and the meeting is over. And Natasha says that if Tamika does not go and kiss her mama ass, there is no group. What do you guys think? I am really hot. I will take up for you when I feel like you need to be taken up for. I felt like last week the lady probably had got a raw deal because Tamika definitely knew what she was saying when she told that lady to kiss her ass. It was below the belt, and she knew of her sister's struggles. But this week, she is showing her nasty ass.
the ass she don't have to kiss.
Oh my God.
The bag that she grabbed, that was a nice bag though.
It was such a pretty bag, right?
It was really, really nice.
How does she think she's going to afford that if she doesn't get back with the group? Keep going.
Oh, Jesus.
She
I
will, because
mean,
the royalty check's still coming.
Yeah, I mean,
Allegedly, allegedly,
allegedly,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
kind of. But I don't know. I was just like, cause she said, I felt like they still could have. I get that her and her sister have issues. Her and her sister family issues are completely separate from what they needed to discuss as far as Xscape. And at this time, Latasha, you are still a part of Xscape. So they're trying to get you, they want to know what's your thoughts on new management. Do you think management is doing what they're supposed to do? Do you feel like we can do better? I mean, how about we all bring somebody new to the table and we kind of start interviewing people or whatever the case may be. But Latasha was so closed off from the very beginning. I just you just knew she didn't want to be there, and you knew that it wasn't gonna um wasn't gonna go well. Even when they were like, okay, well, Latasha, you go ahead and start, which I thought was a good thing to do, being that Latasha seems to have an issue with the group as a whole, and she made the announcement at brunch that we too dysfunctional. So yeah, you go ahead and start off then. Since there's an issue, you tell us how you feel about the group, not about you and Rocky allegedly stealing $30,000 or what's going on with you and your mama and your sister, but about the group, and you wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Based on back to what Antonio said, when they had the brunch with Xscape, when she said we have some things we need to iron out because we just can't get it right. Then she shows up to Tiny's house and she says, "Well, we're not talking about nothing because we haven't, situated the stuff, our family stuff." Then why the fuck did you come? If you knew you and Junior had that
Then
issue,
you said, I'm sorry, Sammy. Then she said, I'm not talking about my family stuff in front of them.
so if you knew that that was going to hold you up from talking about the Xscape stuff, why did you come?
She
And
wanted to show off
I
her
find it
silver
very
pants.
interesting. I find it very interesting that her take was, "You disrespected my mama." She was never offended by you accused me and my husband of stealing $30,000 from you. That was very okay. So now we're gonna deflect because I did take that money, but bitch, you ain't had no reason to disrespect my mama. So that's the problem now. Tasha, she should have stayed her ass at home in Rocky with Rocky packing that suitcase because I didn't understand her purpose of coming. You know what the issues are. You come here to speak about the issues, and now that it's time to speak about the issues, you don't want to speak about the issues. That bitch is the issue. They can go ahead and just move on and let her go.
That's what I was gonna say. Like at this point, I I agree with what everybody said, but she just needs to go. One, we can get Eric to do her vocals, so we could. Two, it's just like there's nothing like she wants to be that girl so bad still. Like this ain't the 40s when you was a lead singer. Like we are above it. Anybody we can get a mic with your vocals in it and some random person can sing and sound just like you at this point. You are a non-motherfucking factor. That is how I feel. And she needs to go. I don't think there's much else to say about it because she's just a fucking drama queen and a thief, and you can't be both.
You know what? She you can tell she thrives off that controversy. She came on here thinking that that was going to be the thing for her. You can tell about the first episode when she was speaking about her husband. Like, I probably shouldn't say it. Well, I'm gonna say it. He started off with R. Kelly. Like she feels like that's going to
Mm,
fuel. And she doesn't realize it's going to make her
mm.
look the way it's making her look. Like you are not entertaining. You're actually getting on the people's nerves because why are you
Yeah.
so damn difficult?
You
Especially when
guys,
you are in the wrong.
as we're talking now, see here I go. I'm an empath, starting to feel a little bad for her.
Yeah.
If you brought up a valid point, Sammy, that was all the way back, in 95, 93, 94, 95. Bump and grind. You know what I'm saying? He was working for the R. Kelly, and one thing about the head pimp, he got a crew full of pimps with him. Amen.
Mm.
And she's been getting, and I'm gonna say it, pimped out since '95, and I feel super bad for her because her depression seems as it stems from her body issues. You got to
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
You may feel good about yourself one day, and then somebody puts on a Biggie Smalls CD and plays a song where Biggie Smalls said he don't fuck with them ugly bitches from Xscape. Like, is her stuff is deep rooted, right?
Yeah.
Get your
And you
ass
have
done and keep it moving. No,
hold on,
it's
wait, Asia, hold on, wait,
2020.
Asia, hold on, wait, Asia. I feel you. But that is at this point almost 30 years of depression and navigating through chaos and hostile situations and all of those things. And I don't know if she likes it or doesn't see that she can have better because that's all you know, that's all you know. However, that is all that it seems that she's used to, and that is sad. So,
Well, then her
um,
mama needs to be leaving her the voicemail about getting right with the Lord and righteousness and stuff. Because I mean, honestly, Tasha's had she's been okay. Like Rocky, you can tell Rocky loved the hell out of her. You can tell he loves the hell out of the girl. What are you missing? Like what are you not getting?
You know, when she mad at herself. Let's just be honest. She mad at herself, and she ain't fixed her shit yet. Like I said, if it really is your body, then get it done.
I mean,
And
hey,
Tasha don't look bad. She's nowhere near
She
the size
don't.
she was back
she was
then.
never ugly, in my opinion.
Yeah, she
But
no,
never
she was
was.
never
She's
ugly.
still not.
yeah,
She ugly acting.
She's ugly acting.
on the
And
inside,
And sometimes
that's
you
because
just
she's unhappy.
if you rotten, you just rotten. And maybe she like being that way, and maybe you feeling bad for her, Chase, is lost on you because she really
that's what
likes
she
you.
like, Asia. That's what her mama favored her like that because she knew she went through all that stuff. So she
Well,
gave
no,
her
it's because I'll be honest with you. 2022, I was rotten. I had a rotten year, so on the inside, I wasn't the best. You know what I mean? So I can kind of relate. I can kind of see the
If you a
signs. You
villain,
know
you
what I
a
mean?
villain.
But I didn't treat people like shit, so that's the difference. You know?
Well, if it's her villain era or she want to be a villain her entire life, that's on her. She can become the main character. She needs to act like it. She not the main character, and that's not the
she's
energy
just
she
a
give off.
character at this point.
She the main character when she walk in with her $30,000 royalty purse.
Well, and then also he adds a bit more, and I get that's your spouse and you boosting them up and stuff like that. But I think that also maybe still kind of hurts her self-confidence a little bit because here she come walking down in her, silk pajamas, and he's like, "Yeah, come on down, truth."
Oh,
And she's, sauntering down or slithering
Slithering.
down the stairs. But I'm sure in her mind, she's like, damn, I am the truth in the booth, but why ain't shit pop for me yet at all? You
Because
You don't
know?
know that
nobody
be a
likes
problem
you.
yet?
Exactly. So that's why I said I
I'm,
think that he is building her up, but in her mind, it might be still fucking with her as well.
if you
And I also
unlikable, you
feel like that
unlikable.
fuels the fire with her doing what she's doing or how she's handling escape. Like shit, I'm the truth in the booth around this motherfucker. Y'all hoes gonna have to deal. So if I don't want to perform, then escape ain't performing. But them other three girls was like, hey, we got somebody that can sing just as good and just as powerful. We gonna make it work a few times and see
And
how
the
it
way
goes.
concerts go nowadays, they don't even need nobody to sing. They can let the her verse play on the speaker and the crowd gonna sing that
And
and
the
they can jump
crowd
right back
still gonna
into it.
go up and
not the
they
in
still gonna
memoriam
sing the
verse.
song.
They
That's
they
what I'm
still
saying. Give
they still
Aries
gonna
the
go on.
mic.
Oh, if
Asia want these
Eric's
damn
coming, that's
kids to
about
work so bad.
They gotta
her
earn
two,
that keep.
your two children, to Asia two future children. If you see this video, your auntie Chase, I'm sorry, baby, but y'all gonna be getting the
Mama gonna make
remote. Y'all gonna be
work.
washing dishes. She's gonna
Oh
put you to work.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so then you guys, we move forward, and the members of SWV are finally going home for a few days as they come to Atlanta to do things such as rehearse and film a reality show. Um, and it's good today at the house. Yay! Next,
It was good to see them with their families. Like I don't know, Coco with the way she was like with her mama, like that's some stuff like me and my brothers would do to my mom. Like, oh, that your boyfriend, back in the like your boyfriend came over, y'all was humping. Like that made me laugh. So it was good to kind of see them in their, family.
The
and
family
Lady
dynamic.
Tipper look good for her
She
age.
does. She does
Oh,
look
Lady
good.
Tipper.
And Coco's son looks just like Coco.
okay.
Have you guys seen him going for her as Halloween a year ago?
No, I
Mm-mm.
didn't see it.
He had on her same dress from New York Undercover in '94. The same dress. He had a little blunt bob wig and his nails and stuff. I was like, bitch, she looked like Coco.
He looked just like Coco.
I second. I agree with Antonio. I do enjoy them having stuff outside of the group. It feels like how the Housewives used to be, where they had all their stuff going on together, but when they had their separate scenes, it was a totally different thing. I
Yeah,
actually
it's
enjoyed SWV going back home from Lily
And
and her sister to.
yeah.
I enjoyed it. I will say to little Eric with a Q, Eric. all that little shade he giving to to Xscape. Truth be told, he ain't heard too many songs his mama sang.
Hey, and wait a minute though, Sammy. That boy's like 17. He
I
probably
know.
ain't heard a lot about it.
The only reason why he know what
He knew who they
SWV
was.
is
They
because
just
his
did it
mama
first.
in it.
Yeah.
And only reason why he know who
Only know SWV, his mama in it.
mama done let him know.
He don't go around telling people like, my mama in SWV. This isn't 93. We don't care. There used to be this one girl
But
in the third grade.
They was having to have Taj home to cook because they ran up on that lady like, "Oh, we so glad you back. We tired of eating damn Chick-fil-A every day."
I enjoy SWV on the show. I really do. I actually like them.
They bring the levity, the balance.
Yeah,
The balance.
they're actually enjoyable.
Yes.
When they not
And I don't think that I feel like Xscape probably Tamika dropping that bomb is like, oh, that's something we did not think we was gonna have this season. We didn't think that's what we didn't think we was gonna be dealing with that. So the whole everything is based around them two for right now. Where SWV, they ain't got them problems, so they're filming the show like they planned on doing it. Where them 4 girls, they having issues.
So you see now they're starting to throw in the layer with Candy now, so they're about to pivot it to Latasha versus Candy, and then eventually Xscape versus Latasha, and then eventually Xscape versus SWV. So it's like Xscape is one big old problem with vocals.
Like they've always been.
That need to be their name, PWV, problems with vocals. But I was gonna say this very briefly. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not going around telling people his mom in SWV. It used to be this one girl. I won't say her name. She knows she is. Third grade. Used to tell everybody her cousins was Tia and Tamara. Girl, we used to be like, we know that's your cousin. We know, girl. You know Tia Tamara. Yes. Good morning. We know.
Are they
give
here?
Taj my phone number if it's true. All right, so Candy's back at her other home, the Candy Factory, and A1 and Jo are playing a new song that Antonio said that he would buy, and Todd arrived looking fine. I know you don't like him, Asia, but baby, he looked good on this scene. He's a fine man on this scene. I got to give it to him. And they. Xscape comes up again because listen, everybody just keeps talking about Xscape, and they're discussing that while Natasha is at home packing, and then she comes down, as Antonio says, in her sleek, silky silk pajamas, and comes down and leans in to give her man a kiss, and he gave her a side hug. Now I don't know if anybody caught that, but allegedly he be cheating. Allegedly.
He looked like he be cheating. Stop playing with the alleged.
No, I ain't playing nothing because I ain't got the money. We gotta say it because if they got their sister money, who am I? They'll surely get these $20 out of my bank account. Latasha. Oh my God. They discussed the issues between the two ladies, Latasha and Candy. Latasha feels that Candy was upset because Latasha began getting more leads. If you listen to the first album, Candy sung a majority of those leads on that album. When you get to the second album, it's more Candy and Latasha. When you get to the third album, it is more Latasha. So for me, I do believe that is true. That Candy was not happy about Latasha getting leads on the album. I definitely believe that because after the first album, Latasha's voice began associated more as the voice of the group. Two things can be true. Just as Todd feels that Latasha isn't going to be able to move forward until the real gets out, and that is that the solo deals that the ladies had, and that Latasha feels that she deserves the success that Candy has. I absolutely 100% agree with that as well. What these two ladies continue to bump heads is that neither one wants to admit that the other one is telling the fucking truth. Two things can be true at once. It's true.
Yeah.
I ask you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree that I felt like what Todd was saying, but I wish Latasha would also understand, like, yes, Candy did well, but at that point, Candy had no choice because they weren't doing shit with Xscape. So Candy and Tiny was like, shit, how can we really get to this money? Let's start writing these songs. She should have seen what it was doing for Candy and Tiny And she should have went and got her sister and said, girl, they doing X, Y, and Z. We was in the same group. I know we can put our brains together and we can write some damn songs for somebody to sing too. And they was, at the time when people were still really, really singing, like the R&B singers were still really, really singing, not like how they are now with some of them, you know what I'm saying? So I think that they could have been just as successful. They decided not to push their pen. They decided not to be as driven. And that's just what happened. After that, Candy ended up, joining the Housewives, will put her on an even bigger platform, because when she joined, these million or whatever that viewers that they're getting now, they was getting
4
tens
or
of millions.
5 million,
Yeah,
yeah,
like they
on
were
a
getting
live
a
night.
lot of coverage at that time. So they even put her on a much bigger scale. And she's still been getting writing credits and things like that, even since the show started. So you can't be mad at Candy for hustling and doing what she had to do to really get to the money and secure her bag for her, for her kids and her family.
Down to the man she married.
Down to the man.
Sammy, I want you to go.
Todd hit it on the nail for me. Like, and Candy has said it before that she felt like when Tasha became the doing more vocals, they felt like she was setting her up for a solo album. But I think they always said their issues started way in the beginning. I think for as far as Tasha thing is, and it's no shade to Candy. We have Candy's voice, and then you have me, Latasha, being able to sing this way. But somehow this girl is able to she just soaring. How the fuck is that possible when I can sing circles around her? And then on top of that, you have, so then we disband and she still finding success. She goes to Housewives, and there's no shade to TV1, but now I'm over here on R&B Divas for a season. And then I don't even hit over there. Like, Tasha, she's jealous. She's very envious of the way that Candy was fortunately able to just go. And the fact that now for me to be successful, it kind of depends on Candy. So I got to kind of, and when it comes to Tasha and Rocky, y'all got this whole family issue going on with Tamika, but y'all still want to make Candy the problem. The only problem Candy has when it comes to Tasha and Rocky was introducing them two motherfuckers. That's what she was wrong when it comes to Tasha and Rocky. Everything else that they try to make it seem like Candy is not responsible for Tasha not being a success. And Rocky, you her manager, nigga. The responsibility comes to you.
Yeah, we got a lot of shit we can put you on. No, you don't.
Xscape was on a hiatus for how long before they Rocky, what are you doing?
It was like 20
years.
Something like that.
Yes.
I have thoughts.
I do too. I got thoughts and facts. I want to hear you first, though.
Candy is I think the difference between Candy and Rocky, because you got to understand what Vicky called all 4 of them bitches ugly, not just one. So the way that they interpreted it, like they was mad and moved on. I feel like that probably just stuck with Tasha because she feels like she's unattractive. Where Candy don't give a fuck. She get any dick she wants. So do we care? No. Candy ain't never. The group broke up, and Candy was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna write some songs." And Tiny, me and you still cool, so let's write some songs or let's do some music together or whatever. Oh, let's sell this shit. And when it came to Tasha and they really still stuck on, I ain't cute enough, or me and Candy bumping heads. Like Tasha was always just looking at Candy and seeing what she doing instead of worrying about her goddamn self. Where Candy ain't been worried about them.
And I think you remember when they said that they broke up, they made Candy sign that agreement saying she can't come back. And then they went on to replace her with the Keisha girl. So we didn't got this bitch replacement. We trying to get her out the way, but here she come out of nowhere. So I think that's just been Tasha's whole.
Well, wait a minute now, you guys. I want y'all to go because I'm gonna have to come with a little facts, right? So hold on now. Hear me out. Right? So Candy sent out a tweet and said that how could she have impeded on Latasha's success when they were on 2 different record labels, right? And I said, stop the press, right? So they were signed initially as a group to So So Def. Who was over So So Def?
Jermaine Dupri.
Yep.
Jermaine Dupri's father was a highly prominent record executive. He was the president of Columbia Records. He is he was the label head who signed the original Destiny's Child to their deal and this and this and this. So when the group breaks up, Tasha already has her solo deal, and Ken is writing for Destiny's Child and everyone, right? Now, I do not know because I did not look it up, but I'm not sure. But I think now this is where it gets. I think that So Def's distributor was Columbia, right? So the group breaks up around 98, 99. Candy's writing in 98 and 99. Her solo debut comes out on Columbia in 2000, and Latasha's album was shelved. Now, Candy may not have had no stroke and no power, had nothing to do with it, but it is highly logical to think, okay, what the fuck going on with my album if her album is out and mine is not? This may lend credence to why Tamika took it upon herself to lie and say that Candy slept with Jermaine Dupri's father, who was Michael Malden, because Michael Malden was the president of Columbia when Latasha's album was shelved and Candy's album came out. So maybe that was a feeling amongst the sisters that the reason why, she definitely fucked him because she fucked everybody. She told everybody to know it. These are not my words, those are Tamika's words on the radio. She's the whole everybody know it, and she slept with the whole So Def. She slept with Jermaine Dupri daddy. Boom, the album out. I'm just saying.
So where does Sony come into play when it comes to all that?
Sony owns all of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sony owns all of it. So,
how about they just didn't like her album?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying this is what they probably thought. I don't know if it's true, but this is the timeline and this is what happened. So it is very possible that something in the pipeline, Jermaine Dupri and they could have been like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna put Candy out because she out right now. I don't think it had anything to do with Candy, but the thought process and when you connect the dots.
It's very Rihanna. It's sounding very Rihanna and Tierra Marie.
Oh, well, that's a good comparison. You think so?
I don't know. I just find issue with it because I remember when they did their unsung and Tasha said that she felt her album was shelved because JD was transitioning out of Sony, and then now it's Candy's came out and mine didn't. Which story we gonna roll with?
Well,
whichever one that villain wants to push because she's a villain at the end of the day, so it don't matter. And she a thief.
All right.
If she's still,
I just wanted to get that out. Oh Lord, I just wanted to get that record label history trajectory out. However, as we wrap it up, Candy says that Tasha is big on communication, so she says, but hasn't told the ladies anything and walks into the room with them and does not speak. And she feels it's because Natasha is up to something and not telling the ladies. And guess what? You just gave up that you know what the fuck going on. That's pretty spot on analysis, in my opinion. You think that Candy would not find out something like that?
Yeah, Tosh told
do with our group member. Nah. Oh, okay. Whatever. We're gonna get into that. I don't know. That was just weird. However, as we wrap things up, Natasha arrives to our meeting at Motown Gospel, and the label executive is saying that they don't work with everyone, but they want to work with her, and she sings for them on the spot. It's great. And she admits that she has not told her members of Xscape, to even Rocky's surprise, and she does not know how she's going to move forward with the group as it stands, but she's really excited for her gospel career. But let me tell you something, bitch. One thing I don't play about is the gospel, right? Amen. And you can't be on television. You cannot be on television being rude, being nasty, walking up, stealing people's money, doing this, doing that, and then you think that God has put it in you to minister to someone else. You can't minister to me from no broken place, mama. You got to get your life together, bitch. Your life is in a shambles. Allegedly, your man cheating on you. Allegedly, you stealing from the people. It ain't allegedly. I'm watching you be a bitch to everybody in the room. You can't preach to me, right? So when you go on reality TV, this is supposed to make, if you're selling a product on reality TV, who wants to buy a single from a villain? Nobody's going to want to do it. She is best suited for a group because when you have 4 members of the group, you're not going to get all of me on a show. We're not going to get all of the people. Not going to get all of us on a show when it's 4 of us sharing this platform, right? That's a good thing because there are some parts of me you probably are not going to like. You guys let me know what you don't like every week anyway, but that's all right. You know what I'm saying? There are going to be parts of me that you don't like. And Natasha, as it stands, who the fuck is going to buy a gospel album from you when you're not giving what God is supposed to give and you're not living it, you're not preaching it, you're not doing it, you're not being it, bitch? Get your shit together. And I will
In
not
the
be
name
buying
of
that
Jesus.
gospel album. Amen. Y'all got it. I cannot stand that. Don't play with God like that. Now you're playing with the Lord. That's crazy. How
Only
you gonna
thing
preach
I
to
have,
me?
only thing I have to say about her being a nasty woman and trying to do the gospel, she's been watching too many clips on the internet. Just because it works for Kim Burrell, boo, it is not going to work for you.
Why was I thinking that, Sammy?
Not gonna work
You
for
know
you.
what? Maybe she is actually in the right lane. I'm sorry. That
That
I
may be
was
what she's
thinking
supposed
that
to
just because it worked out for Kanye West, it ain't gonna work out.
That too, Asia.
be. It's gross. You're gonna go up here and preach the gospel, and you saying that it's in you, and you this and this and that, and you treat the people who are most. How can you minister to a stranger when you treat the people that is closest to you like strangers?
Yeah.
And you
It's
know
not
it's bad
right.
because have y'all heard the song she put out? It's actually a nice
It's a
song,
really good song.
but ain't
I
nobody
haven't
really
heard
paying
it.
no mind because who she's been.
It ain't
Yeah,
even
I
that.
already don't know who Xscape is, so
No, you're not even interested in even listening, right, Asia?
mm-mm.
Yeah, I
No.
don't. I mean, with them groups, I look at, and that's when I'd seen someone. Coco was doing like an interview, and somebody was asking her, "When is SWV gonna put out some new music?" And she's like, "Child, y'all didn't buy them last 2 albums we put out. That's a lot of time and effort to go into that for them albums to go wood. Go listen to them classics. That's what I want from a group like that. I don't need Candy song and let's listen to these songs. I get what they was trying to do during that scene was to kind of show us, listen to this good song by Candy. No, don't want it, don't need it, don't care for it,
I
don't want to
fly
see it, hear
above.
it, or anything. Give
Yeah,
us Who Can I Run To and Just Kicking It and My Little Secret
Those
and
are three songs I
Run to
know.
the Arms of the One Who Love You. Give us, that's
The
what we
softest place on
want.
earth. Give us that. We don't want to hear nothing from none of y'all individually. And I love all.
Nothing. Nothing.
It doesn't sit right with me, you guys, and I'm looking forward to the next 4 episodes. This is a really good show. Hopefully they get
Yeah.
season 2. I don't think they're gonna get a reunion, but hopefully they bring the girls back to the TV screen because I actually, and I said it before, but I feel like this is where Candy should be, and I know that she's not gonna leave the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I
I
feel
just wish
like
she did.
this is where she should be.
I also like I'm waiting to see kind of the divas in Coco and all of them get activated and they kind of I don't not that I want to see black women fight for y'all that's gonna watch this. Not that I want to see that, but I kind of want to see how that comes and goes. I would love to see a SWV and Xscape. I'd be in there on the floor buying a ticket like I was getting for the motherfucking Renaissance. Like I would be in there because I've seen Xscape live before. I've seen SWV live before. I would definitely go to a concert that is catered to both of those groups because they do got hits. They got good songs.
Vocals. Any closing remarks before we go ahead and lean on out, you guys?
I just
No,
gave my
that lady definitely stole her sister money.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. And if you did,
Go to hell.
oh, and if you did it, you need to give it back, love, and then you can possibly
acknowledgments.
preach to me, and then you put it in a
Hey,
song and you repent for it. Because
Klarna.
She take Afterpay. Tamika, set you
See
up an
if you
account.
can
Tamika,
do
get
something
get
like
your
that,
lick back,
Latasha.
Tamika.
Hey, girl, I can give you,
Some
250 every two
installment.
weeks.
Some installment.
you know what's so crazy? I'm pretty sure at this point in their career, with them doing arena tours, they made more than that on the show.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I would hope. So
And
if
now you
SWV
telling me you don't want to
in,
do the show?
if each of them can get paid, 6 figures to go and perform for that rich man in Africa, I'd be trying to. If I was Ken, I'd be like, shit, who is damn friends? We want to go
I'm gonna give
perform
him
for
his.
motherfuckers too.
Who's
What's their
Yeah.
name? What's their Instagram? Let's go perform for them motherfuckers. If y'all get flown to Africa and
okay?
y'all clearing 6 figures, we want that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some things coming up because one of the big things is who should headline and who should not, and I definitely have thoughts about that, and I'm gonna get into it whenever that scene arrives because I definitely have strong thoughts on that. However, I want to thank you guys for rocking with us. Thank you to my group members, Antonio, Sammy, and Asia. Love working with you guys. Dan is going to be popping in on us soon. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and lean out. Thank you for tuning in to us. And hopefully I picked the right screen. We're going to find out in just a little bit. Bye.
Peace.